Hey, it's Chris Ellis, your friendly neighborhood business coach, and I am excited to be hosting the Black Women's Wellness Check-in. So today we are going to be talking to one of my favorite people in the world, Dr. Sarah Ellis. So who is Dr. Sarah? First and foremost, she is my wife, so let's just get that out of the way right now. But more importantly, she is a health professional. She is a mom. She is a businesswoman and a Starbucks enthusiast. She helps health conscious Black women with their health concerns by teaching them how to take care of their bodies, how to heal themselves, how to prevent diseases, all without pills and or surgery here. She's also the founder of Ellis Family Wellness, which is going to have a grand opening on October the 1st. So this coming month here. Yeah, whoop, whoop. She's an experienced clinician, and she happens to be smart as hell. I joke that we have 4 degrees in our household, and I am a college dropout, so I have none of them. So there is, let me rattle it down. There's the degree in biology and chemistry. That's a bachelor's. Then she went to get her master's in pharmacognosy, if I'm saying that right.
You got it. Look at
Yeah,
you.
it took me 8 years of practice, but I got that.
Oh my God.
Let's see, that's medicinal chemistry, and then she has, I mean, I think that's technically a doctorate because she's a doctor now, from the Bastyr University in San Diego, California. So congratulations to her and big up to her. So in short, who is Sarah Ellis? Dr. Sarah, really just like girl magic incarnate. That's who she is. So I'm very, 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 very happy to introduce Dr. Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Here's what's going to happen today. So I'm going to be asking Dr. Sarah some questions about what she does and why that's so important to Black women across the nation. Before I jump into this here, we need to answer a basic question.
Mhm.
Why are we doing a Black women's check-in? And the answer may be obvious, but this is my answer. Um, I have a Black mom, I have a Black wife, Black sister, etc. And all my life, I've been watching these dear people advocate for the health and well-being of our families, oftentimes to the detriment of themselves, as far as their health, their time, their self-esteem, whatever. And what I really wanted to do is focus today on supporting the unsung heroes of our community here, supporting the super women that are there for us day in and day out. So, without further ado, I've already talked about her enough, but I want to introduce you and I want to see if you want to say a few words before we get started. So, again, without further ado, welcome to the broadcast, Dr. Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Sarah, and I'm a naturopathic doctor, the founder of Ellis Family Wellness, and I'm a Black woman. And I know what it's like to go through life as a Black woman, to wear all of the different hats that we wear, balancing everything, helping this person and that person, and really leaving the bare minimum for ourselves. So I'm excited to have this. I'm actually interested in doing this monthly, just like a check-in to chat and talk. And I'm looking forward to telling you more about me. If you see me looking down, I wrote some notes, okay, because I have an 8-month-old baby, which means that my brain sometimes is Swiss cheese. I'll forget. So got to have my notes.
Um, so, first question for me here is, bro, how kick ass was that introduction? I feel like I nailed
You did great. Okay.
it.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out
Boom.
of 10.
10 out of 10. I can't see myself because I'm reading the script, but I think I'm holding up 10 fingers. Uh,
Yes.
all right. So this is the Black Women Wellness check in. And let's just start talking about representation. What does it mean for you to be a Black woman in the medical industry?
It means a lot. I am fortunate and blessed enough to be another person to help Black women feel seen and feel heard and feel cared for in the medical industry. Um, More often than not, our medical care providers don't look like us. And because they don't look like us, oftentimes they just don't understand the plight of the Black woman. So I'm just excited to be another advocate, another aid, another benefit and helper for Black women and women of color.
Okay, I like that. I mean, as it's kind of a random follow up, but do you feel like you wanted to have more Black women in in the medical industry, like when you were like going through like pregnancy or during throughout any of your journey medically?
For sure. I mean, for those of you who know me, you know that I am no stranger to hospitals. I was born with a birth injury, and I've had over 10 surgeries in the course of my lifetime. And I have always wanted health professionals who are excellent, you know, because I'm putting my life in their hands. But it really wasn't until I became pregnant that I really wanted not only a healthcare professional who was excellent, but who understood the challenges that were taking place with Black women and Black babies, with the Black maternal mortality rate, Black infant mortality rate. And in searching for an obstetrician, um, that's really where I truly understood the importance of representation in the medical industry.
Right, I understand. So following up on that, you talked about in your bio, you help health conscious Black women with their health
Mhm.
concerns by teaching them how to take care of their bodies, heal themselves, prevent diseases without pills and surgery. Emphasis on that. So, what kind of health solutions do you offer that's just outside of these typical options? Can you explain?
Right. Well, before I get into like the solutions that I offer, I wanted to make a point to let everyone know that I am not the naturopath or alternative healthcare provider who is completely anti-MD, completely anti-hospital. That ain't me, okay?
Right.
Um, Personally, and with like my children, we have benefited from hospitals, from MDs. Um, so I am more of an integrative. I take more of an integrative approach. There's room for both. You should have access to both. But typically, our healthcare consists of prescription medications, hormonal birth control, and really directives or commands. You need to do this, you must do this. And my health solutions really first start off with partnership. Yes, I went to medical school. Yes, I'm a doctor. I have umpteen degrees. But you know something that I don't, and you know your body. You know your body better than I do. And so my role in your healthcare is to facilitate your healing, to
Right.
provide you with education and information, and give you the tools and missing elements to help stimulate your body's natural ability to heal. So that's like the first foundational level of my solutions. And then um, I teach you about your body through education. Uh, that unfortunately, a lot of MDs just don't have the time to do, and
Right.
often they aren't skilled to explain it in a way that's understandable. You
Right.
know, doctors, we spend most of the time communicating with other doctors, so we use medical jargon, and the average person does not know what that means. And
Exactly.
so I wanted to really take the time to teach my patients and my clients, to educate them on their bodies. So that way, not only do they understand more about their bodies and their condition, but when they go to other healthcare providers, they have a level of confidence and empowerment because they then know what that person is talking about.
Got it. Got it.
And then um, the way I like to explain it is doctors come with a set of tools, like a toolbox. So MDs and DOs, they have in their toolbox, they have pills, they have surgery, they do some consulting and guiding with lifestyle factors. But that's pretty much the two main tools that they have. Whereas naturopathic doctors, we have a bunch of different tools. We have botanical medicine or using herbs. We have physical medicine or like chiropractic manipulation, depending on the state that you're in. We also have nutrition and diet counseling, homeopathy, flower essences, different energetic medicines, and on and on and on. So, um, when you're looking for a naturopathic doctor, you're wondering what is the difference between the two. That's kind of essentially the difference, our philosophy and approach to health, and also the different tools that we have and that we can use to help you reach your optimal level of health and wellness.
Understood, understood. So you have a lot of, so what I'm getting the gist of is that you have a lot of tools in your toolbox in order to help people. But first and foremost, you're more of a true partner in health with the people that you're caring for. It's not like, hey, I'm the expert and I'm telling you what to do. It's
Exactly.
more,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all right,
That's
all right.
exactly it.
Actually, that kind of maybe that connects to the next question. Why do you think that natural medicine is the ideal or an ideal approach when it comes to supporting Black
I thought about this when I was like figuring out my ideal, customer and client. And I realized that natural medicine is really an innate form of healing for us. Um, our ancestors used this to carry them through years and years of brutality because they didn't have access to doctors and to hospitals. They relied on their local medicine man or woman, and they relied on the healing power of nature. And I think that natural medicine, specifically naturopathic medicine, really sees and speaks to the complexity of Black women. We wear 10 different hats, sometimes more. We're always busy. We are nurturers and we're caretakers. And sometimes, 9 times out of 10, a pill is just not going to do everything. It's just going to cover up and not get to the root of what's going on for us. And naturopathic medicine sees us as a whole person, and it gets to the root of everything from your fatigue, your stress, your anxiety, everything. And so I think that it's just like the perfect medicine for Black women.
It's funny because I'm just thinking about this, but I imagine it's in a way somewhat cheaper because it's like when you're taking a whole bunch of pills, it's like you need the pill, then you also need the pill for the pill,
Right.
So,
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Um, so one of the reasons that I wanted to do this kind of like this spotlight and highlight this is because we're we're kind of in an age of enlightenment as it relates to alternative health needs. Everybody's
Yeah.
like people are up on like yoga and breathing and taking walks and tai chi and just herbs and just turmeric and all this other stuff and just elderberry and like and everything.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is that whenever there's a cultural pop off, like there are a lot of really good voices, and then there are voices that start to drown out the experts and the noise. And now you have a lot of people that think it's like that wellness is way easier than it is, and it's just about having the right shakes and smoothies and stuff like that here. So
Yeah.
one of the reasons, and this is a really long long setup here, but one of the reasons that I wanted to highlight you today is because you are legitimately an actual doctor,
Right.
not someone just like peddling supplements or smoothies or like the the pros and cons
CMOS.
of CMOS. Uh, why do you think that's an important distinction for you in regards to how you can serve your clients differently?
I am so glad that you asked this question because I mean, we all have a cousin that's like, here, I made this elderberry syrup on my stove, or, everybody's talking about CMOS and blah, 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 blah. And no shade to them, they mean well. But um, the benefits of me having medical training, I went to medical school for 5 years. And I have hundreds of hours of clinical experience. I've seen hundreds of patients. And the benefit to that is because especially in our community, many Black and Brown people are already on prescription medications, be it for diabetes, high blood pressure, digestive concerns, and the like. Also, by the time that we go to natural health professionals, the disease is kind of already progressed. So
Right.
you're already working with advanced disease. You're already working with organ systems that are damaged, unfortunately, because of advanced disease. And so when you add on herbs on top of that, you're running the risk of interacting with drugs that people are taking, with, for example, cancer survivors, particularly breast cancer survivors. Many of them still take anti-cancer drugs for many, many years after they're in remission. And it's important to choose herbs that do not interact with that.
Right.
And
Okay.
so while yes, your cousin, homegirl, they are passionate about herbs, they've read a couple books, they likely do not have access to the resources that help them understand the interactions, determine which herbs interact with different drugs. And even it could be something as simple as a certain herb affecting birth control,
Right.
affecting the efficacy of antibiotics. And so it's important that you see an expert like myself who can point you in the right direction, let you know, okay, yes, you've heard about this herb, but actually because you're on metformin, it's not going to be a good one for you. Or because you're
Okay.
taking tamoxifen, it's not going to be a good option for you. So yeah,
Okay.
safety is really
Safety.
important.
Absolutely. So just to sum this up, I'm gonna do my little DJ envy thing for the layman's.
Oh my God.
So one of the most important things about having an actual professional, a real doctor, and more importantly, I should say a chemist,
Yes.
is that you know how the medicines work, you know how the herbs work, you know how they interact in your body, and you understand that if people are already taking certain type of medications, they can have a bad or adverse effect on them.
Yeah.
And like people who just know how to, lack of a better term, prescribe or give recommendations for this herb, that herb, and this, that, and other, do not understand the pros and cons of those herbs and can't really give alternatives because they really don't know your medical background. So
Exactly.
that's the crux of why dealing with an actual naturopathic health professional is important. Okay.
Yes. And I also really quick want to highlight the difference. There are naturopathic doctors, and then there are people called traditional naturopaths. Traditional naturopaths are likely the people, not likely, they're people who have studied online programs or have studied under someone. Naturopathic doctors have gone to accredited medical schools. We take 2 licensing exams to get a medical license, and we are responsible for having hundreds of hours of contacts. We have to pass millions of exams and everything. So we are licensed medical professionals. And there
Understood.
is absolutely a difference between a naturopath and a naturopathic doctor.
Understood. Understood. Um, what kind of health concerns can people see you for personally, and if they wanted to take advantage of your services?
Yeah, so for general wellness, of course, I see overall general wellness, for conditions like diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, high cholesterol, fatigue, sleep issues, stress, anxiety, and depression. For women's health, I see women for fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, fertility, PMS, perimenopause and menopause, and pretty much any other women's health concern under the sun. Um, and then I have a special heart for postpartum women. So, women who are dealing with lactation, you're breastfeeding. I'm a lactation education counselor. So, I can support you in your breastfeeding journey, especially pregnant moms who want to learn more about breastfeeding. Maybe you're the first one in your family, and you want to learn more. come and see me about that. Also, postpartum depression and anxiety, and hormone balancing, not only postpartum, but also post lactation. Once you wean your baby, your hormones are kind of getting into balance after that as well. So I can support with that. I also see children, so eczema, food sensitivities, food introduction for little ones around 6 months or so. And what else do I have down here? GI concerns. A lot of kids deal with, constipation and diarrhea and all of that. And one thing I also offer is vaccine consults. Now, I wanted to put a little asterisk there because this is not where I convince you to give your child a vaccine. This is also not where I convince you not to give your child a vaccine. This is where I provide you all of the evidence-based information about childhood vaccines, the timeline, the proper timeline to give them, pros and cons, potential side effects, where to report adverse reactions, and really I'm just giving you the education and the information so you can make the best informed decision for your family.
Understood. Understood. So you got a whole list of things that you
That's
help
why
with.
it's Ellis Family Wellness.
Exactly. That's right.
Mhm.
Boom goes the dynamite. It be off. Peace for everybody. Now I'm playing. So let's continue on. I want to get to some of the good stuff too. Um,
You
this
trying to say my
is
stuff ain't good stuff?
no. I think
Oh,
we talked a lot about wellness as a general concept, but I wanted to dig more in specifics. And
hmm
I know in my profession as a life coach and business coach, I have to do a lot of myth busting because a lot of people go,
child.
yeah. So it's a lot of myth busting in regards to like making money in businesses and how they work. And people have this perception of how hard it is and that it costs a lot of money, that it takes a lot of time and all this other stuff. And so
Yeah.
a lot of my job is like a bunch of myth busting in the beginning about how easy or hard that process is. So my question to you, as a naturopathic doctor, do you feel like a lot of your job is also myth busting? And if so, like what's the biggest myth that you think is standing in the way of Black women prioritizing their own
Child, yes. Lots of myth busting. Okay, I think the number one thing is oh, herbs are completely safe. Like I want to be on all natural stuff. I don't want to take any prescription medications. First of all, herbs are not 100% safe. Okay, there are some herbs you take it, you gonna die. Okay, point blank in a period. That means that you need someone who knows, just like we were talking about, safety. Okay, safety first. Also, sometimes you might need to be on that prescription medication for a long time. You know why? Or for a little while, because we have to get your lifestyle together. Because once your lifestyle and the foundation is there, then you have enough to support your body as you wean off of the medication, if that's what you choose to do.
health?
So, yeah. Another myth is that it takes too much to like be holistic. It takes too much to take a natural approach. It doesn't. Like baby steps lead to phenomenal transformations. It could be something as simple as drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. And
Right,
you do that for a long period of time, it's like nothing. It becomes a new habit.
right,
Or taking a walk after dinner, taking your kids to the park, just incorporating some activity. And I think the other one that I have that I've heard a lot is that it's really hard to take time for myself because I'm the only person who can do XYZ.
right,
Sometimes that might be true, but 9 times out of 10, it's not.
right,
You
right,
know, it's important that we learn the art of delegation
right,
and use our tribe and our village. And if you
right,
haven't established a tribe or village, learn how to do that so that you
right,
have people that you can lean on so that you can take care of yourself so that you can take care of everyone else.
And just to piggyback off of that, like also understand that wellness is a daily aspiration. It's a daily practice. Even when
Yeah.
you talk about delegating, you might have days where you're like really good at delegating, or you might be really good at delegating small things, but you're still not delegating in a way that allows you to move the freest, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that you constantly master. Like I master it. I feel like that's something that we do well in our household, that we try to make delegation kind of
Yeah.
a thing that we're there were a muscle that we're constantly pushing. Even myself, like I'll get mad at you because you'll have kids in both hands trying to do something else, and I'm just like, I am right here. Like, I
I was
am
gonna
right
say
here.
that's something I struggle with. You're like, go take a shower. I have the
Yeah,
kids. I'm like,
yeah,
but
like I
babe,
have the
okay.
kids. Like it's fine. But I
Yeah.
think that also comes with that there is this what I'm going kind of off road on this one here. But do you think, maybe this is just a theory for me, but I feel like some of that is trauma. Is like
Hmm.
the ideal of, I have to do everything because I'm still dealing with the trauma of people not being what they needed to me at a
Mm.
particular time. So now
Yeah.
I just have this overreaction of, I need to take care of it myself because I'm the only person that can do it. I'm the only person that can do it right.
Yeah. I never really thought of it as like trauma, but I guess it kind of is a trauma response in a sense. But yeah, after you've been let down by so many people, like, oh yeah, I'll help you with this. Oh yeah, I'll watch the kids while you do this. Or, you know, you don't do this, but I've heard so many stories of women that they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower. Babe, can you watch the kids? She goes in the bathroom, realizes she forgets something, comes back, daddy sleep, the baby over there in the corner messing with an outlet or something. Like, for
He's
her,
playing the PS5.
right, or he's hollering in his PS5 mic, shoot, shoot, shoot him, and then the baby's over there in the corner doing God knows what. Like, that really reduces our confidence in someone being able to care for our children, care for our home, care for our job, in the way that we did, because that means, yeah, we took 15 minutes to do this thing for ourselves, but then that adds another hour of work because we have to fix whatever wasn't done right,
Redo
do
everything.
whatever was not done to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's trauma. And the idea of, I this is something that I was going to talk to you more about, just more in private, but just like, I'm not a partner in Ellis Family Wellness. I just would like to make that clear. This is her thing.
Yeah.
Um, um, for me, we've always talked about the idea of, since it is wellness, that we incorporate some of the things that I offer as a life coach to the things that you bring to the table to create,
Mhm.
a whole life balance.
Right.
And I think one of the things that, this is something random that I was thinking about, is a lot of times in relationships, especially when it comes to household chores and things like that, we don't understand, or at least guys, I'm going to speak for guys, we don't understand that helping means helping all the way.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times we think that helping is like, I'll do laundry and then the laundry stays in the dryer.
Uh, and then it's washed overnight.
Right,
Yeah.
like if the laundry stays
Mhm.
in the dryer, and it's just like, no, like laundry means that you do all of the laundry, then
Yeah.
you dry it, then you take it out, then you fold it, then you put it in the drawers, and like, it
Yeah.
means finish the whole job. It
Yeah.
means, you know what I'm saying? I think as guys we think, I'm helping, I'm doing my part, and we
Yeah.
don't understand that half of a job is not your part. you know
Exactly.
Half of the job is not your part if a person has to go back and finish the rest of it here. And
Because I
I
might
feel
as
like,
well have done it myself, friend.
exactly, you might as well have done it myself, and I was just going to finish the rest of it. And I think that one of the things that I would like to do with you is that help couples kind of communicate better in regards to that those needs being met, because
Yes.
I think that represents a breakdown in communication, and I think a lot of it is like wives, girlfriend, women in general want their partners to be able to support them. And a
Hmm.
lot of times on the other end, we feel like we're supporting, but we don't understand that support creates more work,
Right.
the
Right.
support that we provide.
Right.
So we're like, what more does she want from
And we're like,
me?
you just not gonna do what I asked you to do, huh? I knew
Yeah,
this is why I don't ask him, so I need to do it myself.
right. So I feel like that we need to tag team and come up with like a service that does that.
Yeah, I think that
Moving
would be
off of
great and needed.
that. Moving off of that here, but what is one big thing that you want to accomplish over the course of your career? Remember, you got this question in advance, so
I was gonna say you gave me this question last night, and I still am just like, bruh, what? Like, but I think the overarching theme of my career, what I want it to be, is that I have revolutionized healthcare for Black women through education and empowerment and community. Yeah.
all right, all-time great player. That's what's up. Um, I'm gonna ask just like one big question that I've gotten from a lot of
Yeah.
different people. So here's my big question. Um, Anxiety and stress is really big, and especially in our community for both men and women, especially. Um,
Hmm.
are there ways of dealing with that without prescription drugs? And like, can you talk about that more?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up because I think last week I just wanted to talk to Black men and figure out what their main health concerns were. And, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, November is like men's health awareness. I'll probably talk about colon cancer, given the loss of Chadwick Boseman and Greg Leaks. But all of the men who responded was like mental health, anxiety, depression. I'm like, dang, really? And so it's sad, but I'm also kind of excited because I am trained in a lot of things to help with anxiety and depression. So there's so much that can be done. Um, Number one, I always say therapy. And I say therapy because this is someone who is legally bound not to tell your business. Okay. You can talk to them about any and everything. I recently got back into therapy and it's been wonderful. Um, I feel like you and I always joke about this, but I found like the one Black male therapist in San Diego for you. And I think that that was really beneficial for you. You can talk more about that later.
All right.
Um, but also, I specialize in something called biofeedback therapy.
Okay.
And biofeedback therapy is a way to train your nervous system and balance your nervous system to improve symptoms and feelings of anxiety and depression. And it works for other things too, but mainly for mental health purposes.
Okay.
So, oftentimes we're in a hyper state of the sympathetic nervous system, which is like the fight or flight um, when you're in anxiety. And so biofeedback helps you use your breath to retrain your nervous system to balance it. So you're more in like the parasympathetic, rest and digest kind of chill space and spending less time feeling anxious. And most importantly, it gives you a tool that you can use in those moments when you're feeling anxious. So
Okay.
I'm excited to start offering that to people.
Awesome. Awesome. We can't wait for you to do that here. Um, what do you think is the, because we have the knowledge of like the types of approaches that you can have um, for anxiety and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
what do you think is like the first step for a person? Yeah. Like if I'm like the
Um,
first thing I should do.
First thing you should do is find a therapist. Okay. If you have insurance, go on your website, go on your portal, look up behavioral health, see who's covered by your insurance company, and call them up to see if they are taking new clients. If they're not, there are options like Better Health or Better Help, excuse me, and also Open Path Collective. They often offer free or low cost options as well.
Okay.
Then what I would do is come see me for biofeedback. But in the meantime, think about your triggers. What makes you feel anxious? How do you know that you're anxious? Because when you're aware of what causes it or what it feels like, you can kind of head it off. So, for example, if you know that you're always feeling anxious on your way to work,
Mhm.
dig into that. Why is that? Is it because you have a terrible boss? Do you have a coworker that you can't stand? Um, is your job just really super taxing?
Mhm.
And then kind of think about ways that you can change that. And also, nutrition and gut health plays a very, very big role in mental health and in anxiety and depression. Oftentimes, you'll find people who have anxiety also deal with diarrhea or
Mhm.
constipation. Same
Okay.
with depression. And so, one of the first things that I focus on is healing your gut and improving your nutrition. And a combination of all these different pieces really helps improve symptoms of anxiety and depression.
See, that last part I didn't even know. So there's that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's why you got to talk to a doctor.
that's right.
So yeah, specifically Dr. Sarah Ellis.
That's right.
And remember, I don't get any money from the proceeds that you pay her. All right,
That's
just know
right.
that. Just know that. It's not sponsored by nobody. Anyway, um, is there anything else you want to talk about before we end this?
Ooh, we do have a question.
Oh,
What is my cost? Will I be working with insurance or employers benefit office? Great question. It's probably the second most popular question I get. I do not take insurance. I run a cash-based practice. And right now, the first visit, which lasts about 90 minutes, is $150. And then follow-up visits, depending on the length, a 30-minute follow-up visit is $75. I often will recommend supplements, but those can be covered by an HSA or FSA account. So while you will have to pay out of pocket to visit with me, oftentimes your supplements and stuff can be covered through your benefits with your job.
right, right. And remember, we're talking about preventative care. So we're talking about you paying $150 so you don't have to pay $5,000 later. So so there's
Say
there's
that.
there's there's price versus value.
And I mean, you and our son had a phenomenal pediatrician, and we changed insurance where she wasn't covered. And we just weren't willing to compromise on the quality of his care. So we paid out of pocket every time we saw her. And it made me realize that, yeah, people will pay for what is important and what they
Oh,
value.
for
So,
sure, for sure, for sure. Shameless plug. So
oh,
you are doing a fundraiser before
I
the grand
am.
opening of your business on October the 1st. I have the
Mhm.
link in the comment section if you want to donate to that fundraiser. So it's there. It should be like it's pinned comment. And you told me a little bit about it. It's pretty cool here. But what is the fundraiser helping today for?
Yes, so I am doing some crowdfunding. It is going to help me get equipment to help my clients. It's going to help me create a warm and inviting space in my office. And most importantly, it's going to help me reach and help more women, more children, more families. So it's just going to give me the resources and the opportunity to be as effective as I can with helping as many people as I can.
Awesome, awesome. We can find you on social media on Instagram, right? As Dr. Sarah Ellis, and that's
That's right.
SarahHellis. So
That's right.
Dr. Sarah Ellis. And then that is why you can find you on Instagram. You got a pretty boss ass Instagram. I'll say that.
I
Um,
mean, if I do say so myself, I do.
You can also, if someone's interested in booking you, and I didn't put this in my notes, but I know this by heart. If anybody wants to actually work with you, they can just go to your website. That is
Yeah.
sarahellis.co. Co. That
Yes.
is sarahellis.co, not .com, but co. Make that is a very important distinction. Go
Yeah.
there, and
Dot
at the
com
very
belongs to
least,
somebody else.
yeah, we gonna get that back though. So yeah, go to that website. And here's the thing: even if you feel like you may not be able to afford the services or whatever like that, I want whoever's listening or watching this to really go to that website and at least go into the email and go click on the part where you can sign up for the email mailing list for her, because I want you guys to be notified when she gets that sliding scale thing down, so she can be able to notify whoever needs that. So
Yes.
please go there, keep informed, stay in touch. We really appreciate that here.
Yeah.
Um,
Starting in October, I will be releasing a monthly newsletter, so you definitely want to sign up for the mailing list.
okay,
And I also offer a free 15-minute welcome to wellness visit.
okay,
So that's really where I'll talk more about naturopathic medicine, the services I provide, what you're looking for, and then we'll decide if we're a good fit and then
all right,
move forward with the appointments.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions or anything else you want to talk about?
No, I am so excited that I did this. I actually really want to make this kind of a monthly thing where you guys can come in, ask questions, we can talk about whatever is on your heart, and maybe some different themes I'm seeing in my practice. So I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
All right, we got some feedback already. Those are some good prices. Thank you very much, Ms. Wanda.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, man. So I'll end this. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
I am
you.
actually, yeah, thank you very much for Dr. Sarah for attending and for kicking this off. And now that I've actually done this, I was thinking about doing this little small business spotlight in the future, and I'm glad that this is the very first one. I'm glad
That's
I
right.
get to share this moment with you. I feel like you knocked it out the park, and looking forward to doing more of these here. I'm looking forward to you hosting more of these. My name is Chris Ellis, and I have been your friendly neighborhood business coach. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.